UCLA means tradition, diversity, access, and opportunity.
In order for UCLA to stay a top university, I believe that they need to be diverse because a lot of the education at UCLA occurs outside of the classroom, which is the different type of people that you meet.
Since my time here on campus, the student experience at UCLA has widely changed. There was the great drop in the number of students on campus because of Proposition 209, and so that was kind of a wake-up call for everybody within the UC system. There wasn't community on campus here for African American students, but what we've seen is that UCLA has kind of bounced back. The UCLA Black Alumni Association helps to narrow the gap of representation of African American students on campus in a number of different ways.
We've helped increase the amount of monies raised for African American students to try to get more African American enrollment at UCLA.
We try to be involved as mentors with kids through the K-12 system, directly targeting students of color so that they can come on campus at an early age and understand what's required of them to get admitted to UCLA.
Our goal is to one day make it where every African American who's admitted to UCLA will automatically get a full ride.
So we're building more of a community here for African Americans, which I think is very important as we talk about this narrative of diversity at UCLA.
When it comes to UCLA Black alumni, there's a whole lot of them.
Really no other school in the country matches us in terms of African American legacy.
I'd like to thank UCLA Alumni Association for recognizing us. We don't do it for the recognition, of course, but it's great to be recognized because it can only help us recruit more people.
We want to make sure that UBAA plays a big role working with the university, but also being an advocate for the African American community here at UCLA. And if we can do that over the next 50 years, that would be a great thing.
Good evening. I'm Christine Simmons, and for the next 5 hours, I am president of your UCLA Alumni Association. I have the honor to pass the torch to Ms. Cheryl Lott, who will then take over for me, and I'll go on to be UC Regent Designate. However, I'm so excited. Bobby and I were just over there reflecting on the work that this amazing network has done, and it's so emotional for me. But established in 2015, the UCLA Award for Network of the Year honors an alumni network with outstanding contributions to the community. A network's organizational virtues includes its strength in its formation, its membership growth, retention, involvement, creative and quality programming, effective communications, successful fundraising initiatives, which I think we heard a little bit about there, and committed leadership. A network receives this honor must have demonstrated the support for the overall mission of UCLA: education, research, and service. There are 141 groups that comprise the UCLA Alumni Network program, something we're very proud of. 80 regional networks globally, 18 professional networks, 33 affinity networks, and 10 diversity networks. The network we are honoring epitomizes all of these accolades and more. We are so proud. I am so proud, because this is where I came from. We're so proud to honor the UCLA Black Alumni Association with the Network of the Year Alumni Association Award. I have more. There's more. I know. It's exciting. I know. I'm excited too. Founded in 1968, UBAA's leadership. I know. No, come back, Bobby. Come back, Bobby. Stand here with me. Okay, as you've always stood with me. You don't understand this, man. All of the Black alumni have stood with me, and I'm just so honored. Founded in 1968, UBAA's leadership traces back to the former Los Angeles mayor, Bruin alumnus, the illustrious Tom Bradley. And the efforts, yes. And the efforts that he and others like Larry Hollyfield, Herschel Ramsey, and former UCLA Vice Chancellor Winston Doby. Yes, give it up for Winston. Who together initiated the effort to organize alumni of color. Celebrating 50 years of service this year, UBAA has committed 5 decades of leadership in advancing their vision to achieve and maintain social, economic, political, and educational equality by providing a vehicle to harness and channel the power of African American alumni and the community at large. Since 2007, over 500 donors have participated in UBA's scholarship program. Isn't that fantastic? More importantly, those efforts have raised more than $3.4 million and awarded to over 700 African American and Black students here at UCLA. And now I am pleased to invite the president of the UCLA Black Alumni Association, my dear friend, my mentor, a leader, a gentleman, Bobby Grace.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chancellor, Ms. Block, Julie Sina, and the Alumni Association. Thank you so much for recognizing us. We, as stated, we're just one of several networks that the UCLA Alumni Association is proud to have connected to it, and we're just so grateful to be able to stand here and represent all of the networks because we recognize the great work that you do. We also want to extend congratulations to all of the honorees today. I know that the work that you do, not only on behalf of UCLA, but in the community, inspires all Bruins. And so it's just great to be in this room and get re-energized by seeing all the great work that you're doing, not only here at UCLA, but in the community, and that's so important. I will say, Meb, that at one time I also had an afro, and that those days are long and gone, but I've always been inspired by you. I also ran track at UCLA, definitely not on your level, but I always enjoy getting up on Sunday mornings and watching you win races, and so that's very important to me. So 1968, we've been in existence as a alumni association since that watershed year, the assassinations of Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy, the continuation of the Vietnam War, going to the moon, all of those things kind of mark 1968, and it's hard to imagine that a group of individuals who were one of the few early graduates of UCLA would come up with the idea of starting an alumni association, but then again, not really. We were talking today with a group of African American undergraduates at the Los Angeles Tennis Center, and they were sharing with us their ideas about how the our alumni association and this group of students could collaborate more. And one of our former alumni association presidents, Manla Kaise, and it's a good opportunity for me to recognize all of the UBAA volunteers and officers who are here. Please stand up. And so we were talking about how UCLA at the undergraduate level has more student organizations than any school in the country, and is very proud of that. And that same energy and drive just naturally went to the Alumni Association. So we have a large number of alumni networks. And we have been singularly focused on diversity and trying to promote diversity. And that's what the Alumni Association does. It tries to promote diversity in association with the University of California and UCLA under the direction of Chancellor Block. And we were so pleased over the last 3 years that we have had the largest numbers of African American admitted students in the history of the school. And obviously that's done or has been achieved by the hard work of the Chancellor and his staff, including Vice Provost Yolanda Copeland Morgan, but it's also where we're fortunate to have a group of volunteers and officers and board members that have been laser focused on trying to make sure that there is an African American presence here at UCLA. We understand that UCLA could not be the institution that it is without the flavor and contributions of every color, creed here at this university. And we want to play a big part in that. And so as I wrap up, I would say that it's also important to us as a network to partner and collaborate with our other alumni networks. And so we're here to say that we're here for you. We're here to not only provide advice and along with the great work that Patricia Nguyen and David Morgan do, but we want to be a resource for you. But we also want to program and do networking with you, because that's the whole thing about the UCLA Alumni Association, is promoting diversity. And I've had an opportunity. My whole adult life, I've been involved in some way with the UCLA Alumni Association. So I was on the board as a student, and then I joined the board very early on after I graduated from school. So I can't even remember a time that shows you I'm getting old. I can't remember a time that I wasn't involved with the UCLA Alumni Association. So on behalf of all of our volunteers, we like to say that we're all volunteers, and you guys know what that means. On behalf of all of our volunteers and all of our alums, thank you so much for this award.